Hi, my name is Alexandra Augustine. I'm a psychologist working at Richmond Hill Psychology in Melbourne, Australia. I'm going to talk to you today about anxiety and some of the things that can cause worries in our life. For some people, they have passing thoughts, things that just worry them every now and then. And it might be worrying about what your boss wants to talk to you about, or worrying if your partner is late home from work. Other people might be concerned about being in front of their peers or presenting in front of their class. And other people might worry about whether their partner is angry or upset with them if they're having a bad day. As I said, for some people these are just passing thoughts. But for other people these worries can become much bigger and can be a lot harder to deal with. Sometimes the consequences of these thoughts are the things that we notice rather than the thoughts themselves. So if we are worried about talking to our boss, it might be that we avoid our boss and eventually get some very negative feedback or even get fired because they don't feel like we're doing our job. If we're worried about presenting in front of the class or in front of our peers, we can also avoid that. And it makes it much harder when eventually we have to. We might even start acting out to avoid talking to our partners or asking what's wrong. Sometimes this might be in the form of an infidelity or avoiding sex or avoiding your partner by starting fights rather than talking about the real issues. For some people, there's anxiety or there's worries cause some very severe symptoms. So it might not just be that passing thought, I wonder what my boss will say. Some people might feel very uncomfortable within themselves. They might have tighter breathing, they might feel sweaty, they might feel shaky. Some people can get very upset stomachs. They might be constipated or have diarrhea. For some people who suffer really badly from anxiety, they can have a sense of the world not being real, of feeling out of place, feeling out of time, and feeling like they're doing everything in 2D. For these people, it's really important that they get their anxiety symptoms treated, because as the anxiety grows, the more restrictive it becomes. Quite often people might find themselves unable to go to work. They might find themselves unable to interact with the people that they'd normally interact with, including their partners and their friends. And the anxiety builds more and more and eventually becomes unbearable. A lot of people don't really understand where anxiety comes from, and in many ways it can come from a lot of different places. Some people are just born that way. They tend to focus on things that might happen. They tend to worry a little bit more. Other people might be brought up in a family that tends to worry about things, tends to look at the negatives a little bit more. Some people might be in a pattern of behaving. That's the way they've always been and they can't really see any other way of behaving. And similarly with thinking, it might be this is how I've always thought. For some people it might be a brain imbalance. It might just be that something in their neurotransmitters has gone a little bit hinky and they need a bit of extra help to help them overcome their anxieties. Generally how we treat anxiety is from a two-barrel approach. We look at the way people are thinking and we try to help them to understand how their thoughts can impact on their behaviours and obviously the consequences of these behaviours. We try to turn their thoughts into more positives and help them to see where life might be good and wonderful and shiny as opposed to scary and difficult. The other side of this is also working with bodily reactions. So helping people to relax in a lot of ways. Not just relax their body, but also to relax their mind. We might also do a lot of behavioural practice around things that really worry them, whether it is a presentation or even something much simpler, like talking to their friends and family. Is that 5 minutes? How did I go?